going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 22 Ultimate Team video. In today's video, we're going to talk about abilities and X factors and how ability points work in Madden 22. So if you need help constructing and building your lineup and you're not sure how these things work, this is the video for you. Now, if you guys find this video helpful, do me a favor, because this really helps my channel grow. Go ahead and click that thumbs up. And if you enjoyed this video and you're looking for more videos on Madden Ultimate Team, how to make your team better, how to make coins, how to understand the game mode in general, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you are alerted when we drop more videos like this one. So, not a ton of difference from Madden 21 to Madden 22 on how ability points work, other than the cap has started out larger than it did last year, but we're going to go over it maybe as a refresher. If you're new to this game mode, well, you might be lost and not understanding how it works, so we got you all covered. So, I'm going to start off by showing you my lineup, okay? And we're going to talk about X factors, abilities, ability points, how to equip them, how to power up those cards. But first, let's take a little trip down memory lane. So when X factors and abilities were introduced into Madden and Madden Ultimate Team, the way it originally started is you could only have 3 X factors, or 3 superstars is what they called them, on offense, and then 3 on defense. And I believe that was Madden 20, where, you know, everybody ran the same 3 things on offense, same 3 things on defense, and it just became rather tiresome, okay? Last year, they introduced ability points, and I think it was a great step in the right direction, and ability points are back this year with a little bit of tweaking, not a ton, but it's a good way to build your team. I think it adds more versatility to the opponents that you face, and you can customize your team a little bit more, cater to your play style. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, the first thing that we need to know here is the difference between X factors and abilities. X factors are things that you trigger in game, so you have to do something specific for this X factor to activate, and then once it does, it kind of unlocks a superpower for your card. I will say X factors not very important. They haven't been for years. Now, we've had some situations like Eric Dickerson 2 years ago and Randy Moss with the Moss X factor, but those things don't seem to really play a big part right now. Abilities is the key, okay? So abilities are basically, I guess, superpowers that you could put onto your players here, but they're active all game. And one important thing to know, while we don't get too far ahead of ourselves here, is that you can put an ability on every single one of the cards on your team. But if you don't actually activate them, and you can only go up to 12 ability points, which we'll explain in a moment, those abilities don't matter in game. So I don't want you guys to get confused on this. You cannot put abilities on every card in your team and have them all work in the game at once. We'll explain ability points, but those are the differences between X factors and abilities. Now, another thing to note is on core elite cards. We're very early in the game here. These cards will kind of get phased out as the year goes on. But if I hit square on PlayStation, X on Xbox, you're going to see that the upgrade option is grayed out. We cannot upgrade, we cannot add abilities nor X factors to core elite cards. Now, if we take a card like a team builder here, Jesse Davis, and we hit square or square on PlayStation, X on Xbox, that will bring you to the upgrade screen, and for him specifically, we can add an ability, okay? So these are different abilities, and the cost of that ability is dictated by training, so you need training to unlock these abilities. Edge Protector is 1,250 training, okay? Fool Me Once, 500 training. So some are more important than others, and you usually can tell by the cost of them. The good thing about this system is that if EA feels, or the community feels, and there's an outcry for it, that an ability is either too expensive or too cheap, the price of that can be adjusted, and that may deter people from using that. We saw that happen with One Step Ahead in Madden 21 last year, among other abilities, but that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, under that, you're going to notice the cost of it. So, Edge Protector is 1 AP, 1 ability point. Natural Talent, 1 AP, 1 ability point. Tear Proof, pretty much all of these are 1 ability points. Now, if you go a little bit further down, some of these are unlocked and not available to this specific card or player. In order to unlock them, it tells you what you need. So identifier for this card, you need to have a 99 overall and 85 awareness. So he's not going to get a 99 overall, not at least this early in the game. but once this guy achieves this, if he does, then he can unlock Identifier. We can see that that one would cost 600 training to buy it, to unlock it. And then also this one is 2 ability points. Now on offense, you have 12 ability points to work with. On defense, you have 12. You also have some on special teams, which I'll show you in this video. And there are abilities that cost the 3 ability points. Threat detector right here, 99 overall, 90 awareness, 1,250 training to buy it. But it costs you 3 ability points. So the better the ability, typically the more expensive it is when it comes to ability points. Now, this card is a team builder, right? And I mentioned the only slot that's here is an ability slot. If you take a look at a different card or a power-up card like this Devontae Smith, remember, core elites, you have to power them up. So you have to get their base power up. You have to use training to power them all the way up to their core elite. And if they get more cards as the year goes on, obviously, you'll continue to power them up. If you don't know how to power up cards, down below in the comment section as a pinned comment, we will link you to a video on how to power up cards in case you're unfamiliar with that. So go check that video out if you need it. So we have this powered up Devontae Smith. If we hit square and then go to upgrade, we're going to notice on this card, not only do we have 1 ability slot, but we actually have 2. Now, you don't have to equip both of these guys. Keep that in mind. And you don't have to equip either of them if you don't want to. Remember, we're going to have to activate these, and your limit is 12 ability points. So we have Route Technician on this card. Cost of it is 2 ability points, but we still need to activate it. Now, X Factors, remember, these are things that you have to complete a certain in-game task for them to activate or trigger. So double me or rack them up. You have to do certain things, and in-game it tells you what you have to do. These don't cost or use up your ability point slots or cost ability points. They do cost training to activate or unlock. So if I wanted to buy rack them up, it's 500 training. Now, with X Factors, you can only have 3 active on offense, 3 on defense, whereas ability points, hypothetically, if you had 12 different players that used 1 ability that cost 1 ability point, well, then you could activate 12 different abilities on offense and 12 on defense, because ability points, the cap is 12, and like I said, each one, this is a hypothetical situation, but if each one costs 1, then you could go up to 12. You can mix and match however you want, and I'll show you that in a moment. So again, I don't think X Factors are super important, but I'm going to start off by showing you how to activate an X Factor without actually an ability on the card. So we got this card over here, right? And if I go to upgrade, we have universal coverage on the card. I purchased it. It's on there. It's not activated yet, but it is on the card. We'll show you how to activate in a second. No abilities. I'm not going to spend any training on this card for abilities. And if we go on over to our, remember, you have to do this on offense and defense, and we go to activate superstars, this is showing me right now, currently on my defense, I have 7 of the 12 ability points activated or issued out for my limit. I have 2 of 3 X Factors. So if I wanted to activate this as a 3rd X Factor, boom, I can. And now if you look above in the upper right part of your screen, I'm at my X Factor limit. So I have 3 X Factors on my defense. They're activated, but my ability points didn't change because this card only has an X Factor on it. I didn't put any abilities on it. So let's go back on over to defense here, and let me actually show you offense, and let me show you how to actually activate cards. Now, you may have noticed with those cards on defense, and you might be wondering, there's a current promo that's out right now called Superstars, and these Superstar cards actually come with pre-equipped or predetermined abilities and X Factors. So when I go to the Saquon Barkley, I can't actually upgrade him because I don't have his power up, or this card's not powered up, but you might notice on the card it has those symbols for X Factors and abilities. This is with the Superstar promo only right now. There could be promos later on in the year that have this, but for right now, only the Superstar promo. So the next part is very, very important, and going back to kind of what I said at the top of the video, I could put abilities on every single one of these cards, assuming that all these core elites were powered up, right? But hypothetically, I put abilities on every single card on my offense. None of them are going to translate to the field unless I activate them. And this is the screen where we were activating, and also you can only activate up to 12 ability points. So right now, fresh slate on offense, 0 X Factors, 0 ability points associated. So if you go over each card, you're going to see kind of in the middle of the screen, it tells you how many AP that costs, what does it do. So we have Daniel Jones, set feet lead, 2 ability points, increased throw power when leading bullet passes with set feet. We go to Devontae Smith, route technician, 2 ability points, quicker cuts while running routes. We go to Terry McLaurin. Remember, this is a superstar card, so these abilities and X factors are already associated or predetermined with the card, but this card has both an X factor with Double Me and then 2 abilities with Comeback and Matchup Nightmare. So let's go ahead and activate our Devontae Smith. Watch in the upper right corner what happens here. Our ability point limit goes from 2 out of 12 and went from 0 out of 12 to 2 out of 12. And also you're going to see on the card art, it shows 2 AP is assigned. We go to Daniel Jones. We're going to activate our set feet lead. So now our AP limit is up to 4 out of 12. Still 0 X factors because I didn't put X factors on these cards. Now, when we equip Saquon Barkley, this superstar card, he has a bunch of different abilities on here, right? 3 of them, and it's going to cost me a total of 5 AP to equip this card. Spin Cycle, 1 AP, Backfield Master, 2 AP, and then Recuperation, 1 AP, a total of 5. One cool thing about these superstar cards is if I powered up Saquon, I got his power up, got his core elite, then added this card all into the power up, I can then choose the abilities that I want. I don't have to stick with these predetermined. But because the cost of training right now is kind of high, I rather just go with that than powering up the card to save some ability points at this point in the year. But that's, that's just a decision you personally have to make. So watch when I activate this card, not only are the 5 ability points going to go towards my limit, but also now I have one of my 3 X factors activated because that card has an X factor. So finally, we're going to activate Devin Hester. He also has Route Technician. That one also costs 2 ability points. So now I have 4 players activated on offense. One of them is an X factor. The other 4 all have abilities on them. And I still have 2 more ability points free or open. Now, this Terry McLaurin card, right, it's predetermined. 3 ability points here. If I tried to activate this, it's going to tell me you're trying too much, you're doing too much, you're going over 12. You can't do that right now. So now I would want to go in and find some cards or players that either I could put, one more 2 ability point worth thing on there, like another route technician, for example, or maybe I could put 2 offensive linemen, get some abilities on them, and each go with an ability that has 1 ability point, like we took a look at earlier with our left tackle over here, Jesse Davis. So I don't have enough training to do it right now, but if I wanted to go to upgrade, okay, and then I wanted to activate or equip Edge Protector, it would cost me 1 ability point. I would then go ahead and activate him like I just did everybody else, and then that would be 11 out of the 12 ability points. So I'd still have 1 more to work with. So the mixing and matching is unlimited, right? Up to 12, I guess. So it's not really unlimited. You know what I meant, man. You can mix and match all that you want. You can play with these abilities. As far as the best abilities out there, I think it's too early in the game to say which ones are the best. And at this point, we'll drop a video on it, but we're going to wait until this patch that's coming out tomorrow because gameplay could change as soon as this patch drops. Before we get out of here, a couple other things that you need to know. If you go over to your special teams, I don't have any players that you can actually activate right now, but you can get up to 2 ability points on special teams. In most cases, you're going to use that for your kicker, but you see I have a message that says your special teams has no superstars. So I haven't powered up any kickers or punters on my team. Eventually, when there's a better kicker or punter out there that I might want to do so on, I can, but you do have 2 ability points to work with. Another thing to keep in mind, and it seems to be better or maybe even fixed this year, is that sometimes when you would substitute or change a player on your specialist screen, so I have Saquon here, I would put Derrick Henry as my power back. If I were to then go to my offensive screen, last year it would deactivate Saquon as a X factor and an ability slot. Now this year it doesn't seem to change. And then also, like, if I switch Devin Hester and Tyreek Hill, and if I did either entire depth chart or this position only, last year it would drop off that activated player, and it looks like it did this time around. So just kind of be careful of those things. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, because I actually kind of tried this a couple times before recording the video and it didn't switch them, and I was kind of surprised. Now it is. So just be careful, be mindful of those things. If you're making changes within your lineup before you load into a game, make sure you go ahead and confirm that those players are activated. One other thing is that you can make halftime adjustments. So if I have a player on offense, right, who is not activated going into the game, and all of a sudden I'm airing the ball out and I really want to activate Terry McLaurin, I could deactivate, Saquon Barkley at halftime and then activate Terry McLaurin in at halftime, and then all of a sudden his abilities and X factors would go into the game for the second half of that said game. I don't think it would transfer over to the next game, so it's only a halftime adjustment. But that's everything that you need to know about abilities, X factors, how to use ability points, how to activate them. If you got any other questions, feel free to leave it down below in the comment section. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.